Pistons are back in action tonight against the Chicago Bulls, and I'm going to give you Coach T's keys to keeping us on the winning train. Hey, Pistons fans, welcome back to another episode of Pistons Daily, your go-to podcast for daily Detroit Pistons content, game recaps, Coach T's keys, trade rumors, and real conversations about what's going well and what's not with your favorite team, the Detroit Pistons. I'm your host, Tony Nash, aka Coach T, and if you love Detroit Pistons content, you've come to the right place. So make sure you head on over to the YouTube channel, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You can find this podcast anywhere a podcast can be found, and make sure you share it with all your friends so that we can continue to build this community. So today I'm in the studio at the office again, and just want to do a quick little episode today as we go into another game tonight against the Chicago Bulls, and just a day off and going to be back in action. So I want to first talk about, MVP talks this early in the season are always kind of trivial because a lot can happen between now and the end of the season, but it's a fun conversation to have. And after some recent wins, some impressive wins in the West over the Lakers and some of the other wins we got, and then recently beating the Cavs and dominating the Knicks, and Cade just being Mr. Consistent and really doing a lot with a little, we've said all along, Cade definitely deserves to be in the conversation. We've said that Cade is a top 5 player, top 10 player at least. But does he actually deserve to be MVP when you have players like Jokic, Shea, and on down the list, Luka? And I think he's making a case for himself that he could be considered as a legitimate MVP candidate. Obviously, with Jokic going down with his injury, he will not be able to qualify because I don't think he'll meet the minimum game requirements. So then you have Shea, you have Luka, you have Cade, you have Brunson. Jaylen Brown's making a case for himself right now because he's doing a lot with that Celtics team. But where does Cade fit on the list? Can there be a case made that he is the MVP? Now, if the MVP is just the best player in the NBA, which it hasn't been for a long time, it can be the best player, then probably not. He's not the best player in the NBA. But the player that's most valuable to his team, you have to say that Cade is definitely right up there. And so I wanted to share some things, some stats. Number one, they just Basketball University on Twitter just put out the leaders of points created per game, and Cade is actually number 3 at 49.4. You have Nikola Jokic at number 1 with 55. Obviously, Jokic is just a beast, man. Then you have Luka at 53. Then you have Cade at 49. Then you got Tyrese Maxey, Shea, Jalen Brunson, James Harden, Giannis, and then Jalen Johnson. And then Denis Avdija, I never know how to say his name. But obviously a good list there and good company. Cade number 3. Now, if we say impacts most points per game, so no one's on the level with Jokic on that one, but he's not going to be a candidate because of his injury. Then if you take Luka, I would take Cade over Luka really right now because he plays both sides of the ball. And Luka is a defensive liability. He is one of the greatest scorers we've seen in our league in a long time. Phenomenal offensive talent, great passer, does things that people just can't do, does things that blow your mind, but he doesn't play defense. And, of course, to me, if you're the MVP, you got to play both sides of the ball. And so then you look at these other guys, and Cade is actually outperforming them when it comes to points created per game. And so I think that's something that has to be considered. I think another thing is Cade's fourth quarter points. He's second in the league in fourth quarter points, just to Donovan Mitchell, which means he's impacting winning. The Pistons have the most single-digit wins in the NBA, which means Cade is coming through in the clutch. He certainly has made a case for clutch player of the year. He gets it done when he has to. And the thing that's nice about Cade is he doesn't have to shoot every time. He's very content to get his other guys involved. He makes his teammates better. Obviously, his points per game, he's right around 27 points. His assists, he's second in the league in assists. And who's impacting their team more than Cade? Who's impacting winning? The fact that the Pistons have a 27-9 record, nobody would have thought that. And even all of the NBA analysts can't wrap their mind around how this is happening. And so Cade is doing a lot with a little. You could say Cade definitely has the least amount to work with of all the players on this list. No other All-Stars on his team, possibly JD this year, but no other definitive All-Stars, and they're getting it done. And Cade is really the driver of that culture. And so all I'm saying is, I'm not saying Cade is the MVP, but I'm saying he's making a case, and I think it's only going to get better if he can prevent injury, that there's a real case that he should be considered as a legitimate MVP contender. And then the NBA just put out their top 10 players of 2025 at the end of the year. 2025, who were the top 10 players? This would consider all of 2025, so not just this season so far, but last season in 2025 and this season in 2025 considered. They have Shea at the best player, Jokic at number 2, Anthony Edwards at number 3, Jalen Brunson at number 4, Giannis at number 5, Donovan Mitchell at number 6, and then Cade at number 7, Luka at number 8, Tyrese Halliburton at number 9, and Jason Tatum at number 10. Obviously, if those two weren't hurt, who knows what they'd be doing right now in the conversation. But seeing Cade at 7 is tough, but I understand considering all things, like he wasn't as good last season as he is this year. He's emerged really this year as just a different player, and he's improved every single year. And so, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments what you think. Does Cade have fandom aside? Obviously, as fans, we all want to see Cade win every award and see our guys win all the awards. But just from a true basketball perspective, do you think Cade has done enough or is doing enough at this point to be considered as the league MVP? And then I wanted to talk about Beef Stew getting Defensive Player of the Month. And you guys have heard me talk about Isaiah Stewart a lot. He's become one of my favorite players on the Pistons. He's just that Ben Wallace type player, right? That Rick Mahorn type, gritty, just gets down, plays defense, drives the team. He's vocal. He's one of those guys you don't want to mess with. He will come to the defense of his teammates. He draws a lot of attention because of his physicality. He's become a good shooter. And he gets so many blocks. I mean, it's the timing of when he gets up and gets those blocks is incredible. And his versatility as a defender. So it's good to see Stu getting some recognition. He gets a lot of hate in the league because of some of his famous fights, going after LeBron, most notably. The league doesn't give him a lot of credit sometimes. They ref him on reputation. But Stu has done a lot better keeping it together this year. And then for him to get this award from the NBA, or this recognition, I should say, from the NBA, is a big deal. And even the game against the Knicks the other night, there was that play where Jalen Brunson shot the 3 and Stu fouled him, and they were seeing if it was a reckless closeout. And I thought, because it's Isaiah Stewart, he's going to get called for a reckless closeout, and they actually didn't give it to him. And I was shocked because you don't see that with Isaiah Stewart a lot. So it's good to see, him getting kind of, reffed fairly and not being reffed on reputation. There was a quote by Cade that said he switched on to Donovan. So they were asking him about Stu's defense. This was after the Cavs game. He said, he switched out onto Donovan Mitchell, one of the toughest guards to defend in the league, and did a great job. Of course, he had that big block at the end of the game. He does a great job on everybody. It's a luxury to have someone like that on your team. Stu is the anchor of our defense. He always has been, so it's a luxury to have him. So love hearing Cade, give love to his guys. And, Cade has really just proven to be the leader that a franchise player needs to be and that a championship team needs to have. So let's give Stu some love in the comments, and let's let him know how much we appreciate him and what he brings to our team. And I'd love to see Stu in the starting lineup. I've talked about that a lot. My ideal starting lineup that I'd love to see us land on this year is Cade and J.I. at the guards, Asar, JD, and Stu in the backcourt. And up front, I'm sorry. Yeah, so JD, Stu, Asar, Ivy, and Cade is who I would love to see. And then coming off the bench, I'd love to see Danis or Sasser. Those guys are both making a case for themselves with Tobias, maybe with Duncan Robinson coming off the bench, and then B-Ball Paul and a Javonte Green or a Ron Holland. So we have so many options right now, but that's where I would like to see us get. We've been playing like an 8-9 man rotation recently because of injuries, and it seems to work well for us. But let's give Stu some love. And then another pesky trade rumor. I've been hearing a lot more about Michael Porter Jr. to the Pistons, and the more and more I hear about it, the more I just wish I would not hear about it anymore. I don't think he fits. I think he comes in and he just messes up the chemistry that we have. If we do a trade, and I think there are some moves to be made, it doesn't need to be a big splash that's going to immediately change how we have to do everything. And he's the type of player that's going to require us to have to change some offensive things. Obviously, he's a great shooter. He's a great offensive player. He's an okay defensive player, but a lot of things are going to have to be changed to get someone like that to fit in. And so how long does it take for us to get that chemistry back? So here's what this trade proposal proposes. It's by 1xBet on Twitter. Actually, it was on Threads. And so it's between the Warriors, the Pistons, and the Nets. And essentially, the Warriors would get Nicholas Claxton and Cam Thomas. The Pistons would get Michael Porter Jr. And the Nets would get Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, Tobias Harris, Jaden Ivey, a 2028 first-round Detroit pick, a 2029 first-round swap, Golden State 2026 first-round pick, and a 2031 first-round pick from the Golden State Warriors. The reason you do a 3-team trade is so you don't have to give up as much or to trade some salaries off. And getting rid of Ivy and those 2 picks, again, Tobias I can kind of understand, even though I don't know that I'd rather have Michael Porter Jr. right now than Tobias. To me, this is not a good trade. It's too rich. I don't want to do it. I don't think Michael Porter Jr. is the answer. Let me know your thoughts. These conversations are always different after a couple of good wins than they are after a couple of losses. Every time we have some losses, we start to talk about, okay, what do we got to do to shake things up? But again, it's a long season. I'm not big on MPJ to the Pistons, but I'd love to hear it from you guys. What are your thoughts? Let's sound off in the comments. And then I'll round off today's episode with some Coach T's keys to tonight's game against the Bulls. How do we keep winning? How do we, obviously, early in the season, we lost to the Bulls. They started out really good. They've kind of tapered off. But both teams are 6-4 over their last 10 games. Obviously, Detroit has separated themselves from the Bulls in the standings. We're sitting at 27-9, and we're 19-6 versus Eastern Conference opponents. So we've done well. We've been winning with balance, 118 points a game. We're holding teams under 110, so it's got to be defense first. Chicago stayed competitive, but they're about 120, 121 points a game. So this will be our 3rd meeting. The last one, we won 124-13 back in November, so it's been a little while since we've seen them. A lot of things have changed since then. So what are the keys to tonight's game? I got 5 things for tonight. So number 1, we got to rebound, right? We got to rebound. We got no Duren, so everybody else has to rebound. Obviously, Paul Reed and Isaiah Stewart have doing well. Well, they both get to start. Asar's been rebounding well. We got to win the boards tonight. We got to win the matchup on the rebounds. Their bigs always give us a bit of a problem, and so we got to be aggressive on the boards. Number 2, we got to protect the arc. We got to take away Chicago's threes. They will put up a lot of threes. They also give up a lot of threes, so we don't need to get in a shooting match between them. We just need to play disciplined ball, take the shots when they come to us, don't force. We probably will see a little bit of zone, especially if Duncan Robinson is not in the game. And so we got to protect the arc. Obviously, Cade, number 3, Cade controls the pace. He's got to be in charge. He's got to set the tone. Unfortunately, Cade's got to give us 22 to 30 every night, and 8 to 12 assists because he's really our floor general. So he's got to set the pace early. Number 4, we got to have active hands. Deflections, steals create chaos. The Bulls can get a little out of control, play a little out of fast. They get a lot of turnovers. So we have to have active hands, forcing those, jumping the passing lanes, and getting up the court quickly. And then we got to have number 5, that next man up energy, right? We got to win the bench battle. I've been saying this a lot lately, but this has been big for us, especially with 2 starters out. The bench has to be big for us, so someone's got to step up. It's been recently Marcus Sasser, it's been Javonte Green, it's been Dennis Jenkins, it's been B-Ball Paul, it's been Jaden Ivey, it's been Ron Holland. We've been having our bench just really, and a lot of those guys would be starters on other teams. So what a luxury to have those things. But effort beats excuses. So we got to come out, play hard to get the win tonight. So should be one of those wins that we got to get. I hope we get up for it like we do some of these other big games. We can't take any of these games lightly. I'd love to go into the All-Star break under 10 losses, and so let's stay on the winning train. So my final thoughts are Detroit shorthanded, but our identity has to stay the same. Play hard, play defense first. If we defend, if we rebound collectively, we value possessions, and we will control the game then. Chicago's going to fight. They're going to play with pace, ball movement. They're going to play with physicality. We just have to match it and beat it. So to me, this game is all about habits, not about the opponent. We do what we do. Play defense first, leads to our offense. We do the things that we do. We follow that Detroit blueprint, and it should be an easy win for us. Of course, no easy wins in the NBA. So let's protect home court. Let's keep setting the standard in the East, right? We run the East, baby, and so let's set the standard. If you're gonna be at the top in the East, that comes through Detroit, and so let's keep it up. So that's all I got for today. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share it, like it, subscribe, notification bell, all the things. Give us a 5-star review. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are about Cade and the MVP race. Give Stu some love in the comments. Let me hear your thoughts about this trade rumor. Do you think it's good, bad, or ugly? And then let's go Pistons tonight against the Bulls. So thanks for watching, and as always, Detroit basketball. Let's go, baby.